Yo, I found literal proof in an old book that they're erasing black people out of history. And they were doing it back then. Now, yes, I've found literal proof of French people drawing Indians like this, melanated with curly hair, and then drawing them like this, just putting a white face on top of it. Or how they would take drawings by Louis Course, a French person, in 1822, and they would draw it later in other books and put these in a museum. But to find actual words being changed on purpose on old books, writing somebody out of history, that can be hard to find, because typically you won't read multiple books of the same type of book from earlier of a period. I keep saying that is because the first one that I decided to read was this one here. Now this is pretty damn official. 1587. The same name of the book, De Orbe Novo, which means the New World or something like that. Same person, Peter Martyr of that. Written in 1587. 53, what's that? 57 years afterwards. So it should be the same, shouldn't it? If I read this and compare it to this, shouldn't it be the same? Well, we're going to translate a particular section. And this section was, I was interested in this section because of this website. This website, Dauta Island, is in Geechee Low area, the historic Indian tribe or Indian chief name of the Kusabo Indians. But this is the book, and notice right here it says 1530. So what happened was I read the 1587 book passage, then I had to go back and say, wait a minute, these books don't even look the same. So I went back and found the 1530. That's where it got crazy. In the 1587 version, we're going to read this paragraph. He says, I learned the particulars of this affair from a learned and truthful priest called Baccalaureus Alterius de Castro, a man of good letters, upright morals, and sound judgment, who was then vicar and inquisitor in Hispaniola, and who bore faithful witness to these events with great frankness. Now let's read a paragraph here in the 1530 book, 57 years prior. Particularly notable among these accounts was that of a wise learned priest called Baccalaureus Alerius of Castile instead of de Castro of Castro. Got it? Okay. Who wrote of these findings with the honesty of a true man of religion. From his letters and those of the Moor Hanitus Decanus, and from the report of Vicar the Inquisitor. Remember, there's Vicar the Inquisitor, there's Baccalaureus Alterius de Castro. What the fuck is the Moor? Moor Hanitus Decanus, Vicar of heresies into Hispaniola. I gather this information just so I can finish that. They literally wrote the Moor out of this version. And if you think it's a Chat GPT fuck up, here's the old book, here's the newer book, 1587. There's Alicarius Castro de whatever, right? And if you keep going down through here, you won't see the word Moor or anything like that, which you shouldn't, because they wrote his ass out. But when you come to this one from 1530, you see Mortem Hanitarium Decanius. I know I'm butchering this shit, but Moor Hanitus Decanus. This is literal proof from the earliest of times of erasure of anything black. And I haven't even been through the whole book. It's 600 some pages. I'm going to have to go through a lot, if not the whole book, over time. And both to compare to see the differences, because they've been lying. And that's going to take a whole lot of time in itself. Got to finish other stuff before I can get to that. But they have been lying. And who's been doing it? Well, it was none other than the Council of the Indies. Now, I'm going to show you this book, a different book that talks about the Council of the Indies. But let me show you how in that book this book is from like the 1800s. But this book, the book I'm about to show you, this excerpt was taken out of that book, out of the 1530 book. I'm sorry. Now, this 1530 book, the same book I was just showing y'all where I found the issues, it says that Lucas Vasquez de Ayllon was a licensed in law. He was an agent, basically, of the Council of the Indies, right here, working as an agent from the Council of the Indies. Now, had I just read this and didn't read the other book from later, this one, I wouldn't know what the Council of the Indies was. But it says here, at this distance of time, when the state of the world is so different from what it used to be in the 1500s, when the state of the world is different from what it used to be in the 16th century, the 1500s, whereas I had a book from the 1500s that I showed was erasing the Moor, right? It may not be readily conceived how easy it was for the Council of the Indies, which Lucas Vasquez was an agent from. He was a Spaniard explorer. Through the power vested in it, permitting or prohibiting the general circulation of all writings relative to America, to keep the rest of Europe in the state of dark ages respecting the history of the new continent. For 300 years, 3 centuries, for 300 years, from 1500s, those who successfully composed that council exercised their function as censors, censorship, erasing, changing, with the greatest vigilance. If powerful patronage or inadvertence on their hearts suffered, was whatever, and it goes deeply into it. Again, they erased him out of the book. Why would they not want you to see that there is a morum up in here? Why would they not want you to know that this guy, Peter de Angleria, was reading letters from a guy named Hornitas de Canis de Moor about what was going on in America in the Indies? These people been playing. They've been playing, and they keep playing. And this is why we tell y'all gotta at least follow all the people out here that's putting down this game, because the corruption is deep, and it's as deep as past the 1500s, earlier than the 1500s, I should say. It's deeper, okay? And then if you want to find the truth, you gotta dig deep.